Welcome to the Doing All Right podcast presented by our friends at Prize Picks.
And we are back. Bryan Broaddus, appreciate you, sir, being here with me on this lovely Wednesday. Hey, man, the day is kind of, pushed together. We don't have player days and but it is a Wednesday. Thank you for being here on this lovely Wednesday. We appreciate y'all for being with us on this lovely Wednesday. The numbers been still going up.
Yeah.
So if you're new here, welcome.
Welcome.
Appreciate y'all here. You missed the best times if you just got here. The prospect fight. So we're gearing up to get back in the Cowboy mode. So if you're a Ravens fan that tuned in for the draft and you leaving us, hey man, we appreciate y'all and we'll see y'all next year. But as we ramp back into Cowboy stuff, it's going to be a lot more questions, a lot more Q&A, philosophical stuff. We're going to be reaching out to y'all, doing a lot more mailbags just to hear what y'all have to say and y'all have to ask. So we're going to be doing those. We're going to be having a bunch of guests as well, bro.
Yeah, I hope, we're going to have a lot of the guests,
sure.
Former players, coaches, scouts, hope to get all that lined up.
Mm-hmm.
Want also to bring back if our other YouTubers are listening out
Sure.
there.
Sure.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that those guys and gals get opportunities. A lot of them are already famous.
Yeah.
They're doing us a favor by coming on our show.
Yeah.
But I hope that we can get to reach out to more of those and bring some more opinions along the way. I think it's really cool. Yeah.
We'll do it. YouTubers as well. Bryan got questions though.
I do.
He has a few.
I do.
I possibly have one. If I don't get to it, it'll be a Voch says this for tomorrow's Q&A.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to put that out. First, I'll do Q&A tomorrow, so y'all just be ready for that. But Bryan, you got 4. What you got?
Voch, in the 4-2-5 alignment,
Okay.
who are your 2 linebackers?
My 2 inside linebackers?
Who are your 2 inside linebackers?
Okay. D. Winters is one of them.
Okay. And that wasn't hard for you, was it?
Wasn't hard. Love his film. He's available is what matters.
Right.
D. Winters is a guy that's been available.
I see we're going here.
Overshown has to be your other one.
Oh, does he?
Overshown has to be your other one. As of May, what is it, the 5th, 6th?
6th.
May 6th, Overshown's got to be your other one. It'll be irresponsible of us to just go and sit Overshown and just sit him down.
You talked about availability just then, though, a little bit, didn't you?
I did. His knee feels fine right now.
Yeah.
His knee feels fine right now.
Okay.
He's technically available right this second. And I think if he's available and he's healthy, you have to give him his shot or whatever. But I'm letting Jaishawn Barham get a lot of reps.
Oh.
I need Jaishawn Barham to
I never thought you would ride the fence like this on this one.
This ain't riding the fence. I'm picking Overshown over Barham first. This ain't riding the fence. But I need Barham to get a shit ton of reps because Overshown has not played an entire season yet.
That has to bother you, doesn't
It
it?
bothers the piss out of me. But this thing about Overshown, right? The difference between Overshown and maybe some of these other guys, I'm trying to give you a great example. Zeke was hurt and came back.
Yeah.
You're older Zeke now. So even in you coming back, I'm not forcing you at the top of the depth chart because the skill ain't there. Overshown has proven to us that he could be the best linebacker in this room when healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, we tried to ask him to be Hercules and save the defense, coming off of his injury. Hey, Overshown, can you come in and be you? And he's done it before. And I thought it was unfair to ask him to do it when we asked him to do it then. He's done it before. Last year was a little different. Last year, he seemed to be a tick behind, right? But you got to give him his fair shot because at the end of the day, this dude has had 10 tackle games versus the Eagles. Versus the Giants, he's had 7 tackles.
Well, that seems like your fallback. Reasoning.
Because there's proof that he could play. For example, if Deron Bland didn't have proof that he could play,
right,
the cornerback situation wouldn't be all that complex.
I think the cornerback situation is complex.
It currently is.
It is.
Anytime there's a hurt guy that can play, that's what makes this difficult.
Yeah.
Overshown is a hurt guy that can play. Bland is a hurt guy that can play. And not just can play. Let me just, separate that a little bit. Because, Brock Hoffman can play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Savon Revel, from what we seen last year, can play. Deron Bland has high-level play. We've seen him have high-level play. All-pro type, broke the pick 6 record type play.
Right.
Overshown hasn't had a whole season, doesn't have accolades, but he's shown that if he's healthy, he can be a guy.
Do you think that maybe the fact that Barham was drafted by this regime plays into maybe him giving a little bit more of a chance than you might be giving him right now?
The fact that Barham is drafted by this regime, do I think that'll give him a chance to play over Overshown?
Yeah.
If Overshown didn't prove to us that he's had fantastic play
he
on the
proved
field,
that to you and I.
Sure.
He proved that to people that people that were here.
Sure.
This is a new group.
Yeah. But Christian Parker has access to that film.
Yeah.
So when they
he did. He sent Oso Diggy package
out of here.
Yeah.
So when they asked Christian Parker, hey, who from this current defense can you use? I would imagine that he says we can keep Overshown, we can keep Revel, we can keep Bland.
Yeah.
Quentin is a non-negotiable.
Do you think he had the most questions about Overshown or Revel?
Christian Parker?
Yeah.
I think it's all about injury with Overshown. Revel has can he play concerns.
Yeah.
We don't know if Revel can play. We've only seen Revel for a half a season.
That makes me sad in a way.
Yeah, we don't know nothing about Revel. Revel's going to have to do something in preseason and we'll see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Overshown, there's film of him being ridiculous, Bryan.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a little bit. And look, camp matters.
Yeah.
Camp matters. If Overshown gets out here and he looks a tick slow in the joint practices and he's not keeping up well, and he probably won't play preseason, but he'll go out there for like a regular season game or two, and he doesn't look like him. I don't think Jayshawn's gonna be far behind him. That's why I think Jayshawn should get reps.
We putting a lot of eggs in that Barham's basket.
I don't think so, because I don't think he's starting right now. I don't think he's starting right now. And
do you think he pushes then?
I said this on the show last night. The Collective. Shouts out to the Collective that I'm doing.
Good show.
I forgot what I was just saying. Okay, here we go. How about here we go. I'm shouting people. I forget.
How rare was that? What just happened to you?
It never happens.
It happens to me all the time, and you catch and help me.
That's horrible.
But
how about this? What the Joneses normally do, right? I got to give them credit for like changing they tone a little bit.
Whoa, wait, what's going on here?
I'm giving Joneses got.
Why you give him credit?
Watch this. The Joneses would sit back and say, "Oh, perfect. We drafted Jaishawn Barham. We spent the 5th on D winners. We're done at linebacker." They used to do that.
Yeah.
They used to do that. If we had to play a game today with Daryl Worley and Ha Clinton Dix and what's his face, KZ and them,
yeah,
we could play a game today. We're not looking for linebackers no more. The Joneses would tell you this.
Yeah.
What they say, Bryan? Hey man, we still open to looking at linebacker. Look, I don't think we've done that linebacker.
Do you think they say that because in the past you and I have criticized them for quitting? Like they like to tell us it's 24/7.
Yeah, but,
and they don't act like it's 24/7.
But even when we would criticize them, they would still go, "Hey man, we drafted Jaishawn Barham. That's us addressing it.
Yeah,
we traded for D winners. That's us addressing it. You know what I'm saying? That's our answer. They ain't saying that this time. They saying, yeah, we're not done it.
I think they're learning. I think they're learning what triggers fans.
I think they
don't want to hear. Fans don't want to hear we're open 24/7 for personnel stuff, and we're going out there and getting on the yacht and not doing our jobs.
I think they learning from their own mistakes.
I do too.
I think they're learning from their own mistakes, and that makes me feel
their words get taken as
gospel.
As
gospel. Yeah.
Speaking of gospel, Stephen Jones came out yesterday and said he was not going to trade George Pickens.
Yeah.
Did he have to do that? I know he was asked the question. He told me, Zach Wolchuk, and Eric Chiafalo on the deck and Nobu that he wasn't going to trade Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Where are you on that?
I think Stephen Jones is tired of talking about it.
I think he is too.
So I think he's getting ahead of it by saying, hey, before anybody asks, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
We're not doing this. I think they like George.
I do too.
But I think they're in a weird situation. And I don't just want to put everything on the agent. Because we learned that even in the other situation, it wasn't all agent. It was a player for real.
Yeah.
Right? But I legitimately feel like this part is different because they want to keep George. The market will have to blow you away for them to get rid of George.
Right.
Nobody's going to want to blow you away.
How can Stephen Jones stand up there and tell you he doesn't want to trade George Pickens, but doesn't want to pay George Pickens?
I think he wants to pay George Pickens. I just think he wants to pay the appropriate amount for George Pickens because
Well, George Pickens is a $35 million player.
It could be whatever the market says. Right now, he's a $28 million player.
Right.
Whatever the market says about
Right.
him.
I don't know how you could stand there and say that though.
Well, in my business mind, right? 'Cause I
Right.
do have a business mind.
If you don't want to trade the player, sign the player.
If I'm taking emotions out of it,
yeah.
he's a $28 million player right now because that's what other teams say he's worth. He's not worth a first round pick because that's what the market says. You know what I'm saying?
Now tell me that other teams suck at this like you normally do.
Teams should want to give up a 1 for George Pickens.
Yeah.
But they haven't.
Yeah.
They haven't. I think teams should want to.
Is it all about? Is it all about being late and tardy?
I sincerely feel like if another team called the Cowboys and say, "Hey, man, we'll pay George 35,"
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys would pay 36. I think they would.
Get out of here.
I think the Cowboys would pay 36.
They're going to tell you that they can't afford 2 wide receivers over $30 million.
I think they know they can. I think they know that.
I think they know they can too.
They know they.
They're just not willing to do it.
They can't. I think they're willing to do it. They can't say that publicly.
They do it.
No, they can't say that publicly.
Wait.
Because if you say it publicly, then the number starts at 35. If I can get George Pickens for 28, I can get George Pickens for 28. Jadeveon Clowney got you 9 sacks last year.
Yeah.
That's a double-digit $1 million player. But we got him for vet minimum or something. I'm not gonna overpay him if ain't nobody else gonna do it. I think the Cowboys are in the same place with George.
They're going
Pickens.
to tag this guy again after next year.
In the same place they was at with the kicker.
Yeah.
Right.
The kicker didn't have the stomach.
Give him 10.
The kicker didn't have the stomach.
Send the 2.
The kicker didn't have the stomach.
Send the 2 and give him 10.
Kicker could have got more, I think.
Send the 2 and give him 10.
Yeah.
And nobody sent the 2 and gave him 10. Why would I give him 10 if nobody else would give him 10?
I'm tell you what, though.
I think that's the game.
I'm going to tell you this, though.
If we didn't want to give Micah 42, it was a line
they
of
got
teams.
they got mad. They got mad. They got mad. They got mad.
Listen, they got mad.
Don't.
I'm gonna do this.
No.
They got
Why?
mad.
Why are you doing
because
this?
This the difference.
They got mad at the guy. They were going to pay him $40-something million.
This the difference.
They were going to pay him.
This
You
the
know
difference.
that.
This the difference. They were going to pay him 42, but in the event that they weren't, there was a line of teams willing to give him 42. Or 43 or 45.
Right.
What I'm saying is there's no line of teams running to give Pickens 35. So why would I pay 35 if they won't pay 35? There might be a long line of teams that's
They're
willing.
not going to sign the player.
Cowboys?
Yeah.
I don't know what they will or won't do. They might sign him for 28. The agent don't want us to sign for 28. So cool, we won't sign for 28. Yeah. We'll see what the market is.
He show up for all these things he's supposed to.
I have no clue.
I
have no answer.
Come on, man.
I have no answer for that.
Crystal ball it.
GP's a different type of dude.
He is different.
If I had to assume, he'll be there.
I think he'll be there for the mandatory minicamp thing.
He'll be.
I don't know about.
He'll be at training camp.
Oh no, training camp. I think so too.
He'll be at training camp. Yeah.
But what about the other stuff?
I don't think we'll see him.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see him. I think he'll show up at the things that's dire, that's incredible.
Like you get fined for not showing up for the 3-day minicamp.
I don't think you want to lose that money if he's going to play on this tag with less money than in general. I don't think he wants to lose more money.
Right.
You feel me? I applaud the Cowboys for being 10 toes down about it. Because if you found out that his
come on, man,
Bryan,
he was one of your best players last year.
He's incredible, but you can't negotiate off emotion like that.
They did with Micah Parsons.
They was wrong. I ain't saying they always right. I'm telling you, GM Voch and what I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm
would GM Voch? Okay, tell me what GM Voch would do then
with Pickens. I love what they're doing, so I do the same thing. What's your market?
Yeah.
What's the market say? Yeah. The only thing that makes this weird is that Mulugeta don't want him to play for 28. If GP was his own agent,
which
a lot of people do. Yeah. If GP was his own agent, I think this conversation would be less difficult. I think the Cowboys would love to have GP, but it depends on what his market is. Right now, if he signs the tag at 28 and nobody else will, nobody else offer a certain amount of money, whatever the highest amount of money you can get, that's your market. That's your market.
Yeah, $60 million.
What you paying me is my market.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel what I want.
Yeah.
But what you're paying me is my market. I can go to
now you're making it personal.
I can go to Saints Global Media.
Yeah.
I can go to Saints Global Media.
I think the Saints, you could probably come up with a creative name other than Saints Global Media.
Whatever it is, but if you paying me what I'm paying me and nobody else will pay me more than that.
Yeah. That's who you are.
I got a decision to make, dog.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I like being here, though. I get paid well.
The thing about it is, though, with George, I just find it strange that you could, and I'm not saying you, Stephen Jones has this, we love the guy approach, but won't pay the guy approach.
Yeah.
But you talk to people within the organization, they say we can't pay 2 receivers over $30 million.
I think they can. I think that's
what they'll tell you.
I think that's public negotiation. I think that's them talking out loud.
Yeah.
I think that's them talking out loud trying to get a lower dollar amount. They can.
Was there a time last year where he was better than CeeDee Lamb?
For sure. We was up here talking about it.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, GP might be the one.
I agree.
GP might be the one. But if CeeDee Lamb was on the market, how much money you think he can get? He'll probably get plenty, you know.
Do you think he would get what he gets now?
I think he'll probably get a little more now because the market's changed. St. Brown done bumped it up a little bit.
Sure.
So I think him and Chase, if they re-entered the market, they can get more. Yeah.
Who'd you rather have?
Out of who?
Him or Chase?
I probably have Chase.
Him or Jefferson?
Jefferson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine.
So he's always in and I don't disagree with you.
I'm fine.
I don't disagree with you because I would keep him below those guys.
I think he's better than St. Brown though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think St. Brown.
And I like St. Brown.
St. Brown and what's my man's Jackson and Jigba.
Yeah.
I would take CD over them. I think they do great things for what they do in their offenses. I think they get like
you didn't even think about that.
They get big volume over there.
You didn't even think about Jackson Smith and Jigba, did you?
No.
You didn't even think about it.
I think if
Pickens or Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I'm taking Pickens over Jackson and Jigba. I'm taking Pickens over Jack. And look, I think Coach,
is that general manager?
I think
is that general manager Voch talking there?
That's Coach Voch. I think coaches in the league will tell you that shit. Offensive play caller Voch, I'm taking George Pickens because
I like George Pickens too.
Because if my play call is stupid, Jackson and Jigba has a chance to get affected by that.
Yeah,
we've seen Pickens out athlete bad play calls.
Yeah.
It was like a 3rd and 1, and we took a deep shot to Pickens. I'd have just ran the football.
Yeah,
but George Pickens has the athletic. Look at what he did with 4 routes.
Yeah,
that people knew was coming.
Is that
they knew the routes was coming? They couldn't stop him.
Is that what do you worry about that with Schottenheimer a little bit?
I think that's more of a Pickens thing
because I would ask you this question.
Well, you remember on this show, and if y'all miss shows, shame on you. Yeah. But the golden dude theory. You remember the golden dude theory? CeeDee Lamb is the golden dude.
Okay.
He does everything in the offense. He does the motions. He lines up at different spots. Right. He does crossers and all this kind of stuff. If CeeDee Lamb gets hurt, in which he did, it doesn't automatically move to Pickens being the golden dude. The golden dude then turns into Flo. And Flo lines up in different places, and he goes in motion, and he runs all the
Pickens will never be the golden dude then, right?
I don't think Pickens showed last year that he couldn't be the golden dude because there was no involvement in him being that.
Yeah.
When CD got hurt, he kept his same role. Flo did the CD things because when CD was healthy, Flo had a whole different role. Flo turned into first down guy. You know what I'm saying? When CD was healthy, Flo was just first down guy. I get a tough catch in 5 yards if y'all need it right there, and then you go back to doing whatever. They didn't just put Flo in motion for no reason.
Do you think that? Wow, this is going to be really reckless of me.
All right. You doing that now?
Do you think that Schottenheimer's offense restricts Pickens and CD, and maybe even the tight ends in this room?
I don't think it limits CD, because I think when we ask CD to do shit, he does a bunch. CD does a lot. You know the old Mike McCarthy shit. Can you play from 3 different spots or whatever? Like CD does that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's holding CD back. I don't know what the reason was. It could be Pickens. It could be the scheme, complexity. We don't know. Maybe Pickens has to improve as a route runner. Maybe.
Well, we know that's not going to happen.
Look, maybe somebody get the plays and they just go to Pickens and tell him what route to run. We don't know.
Yeah.
But for some reason, we didn't see Pickens line up in the slot a whole bunch. We didn't see Pickens go in motion a bunch, and we didn't see Pickens run a whole bunch of routes. Those are just facts. So if Clayton Adams and Shotty want to improve on something, I think it's getting with Pickens and figuring out, hey, why didn't we put you in different places more? Why were you only on the left side of the field? Or why were you always away from trips? Why were you always where you were? Why did you only run 4 routes?
Yeah.
Those are the questions that Shotty and Clayton Adams got to ask.
The thing about it is, I wonder, it sounds like you're saying, listen, I don't want to put words in your mouth. It sounds like you think it's more on the player than the scheme.
Yeah. Every player has a type. Yeah. And how wide receiver rooms work, everybody kind of got a role. If Anthony Smith had to play tomorrow, he has a role.
Right.
That'll be different than Turpin's role, which is different than Flo's role. And that's different than CD's role. You know what I'm saying? I do put a lot on the players. I put a lot on Ferguson. Like, why do you drop the seams you used to catch? Why are you fumbling so much? Things like that. You know what I mean? I put a lot of responsibility on the player. I believe in execution. I do believe that coaches matter, but I might be like player execution first guy. Like, I may be, hey, player, be better guy first.
I just wonder now, the way you've made me think about this.
Yeah.
If you look for offensive advancement, if you look for how does Bryan Schottenheimer and Clayton Adams improve on the offense, it's pretty good already.
Yeah.
Does trying to help George Pickens not really factor into that?
Yeah. Well, if Pickens is going to be here, and right now he is,
but if he's not capable of, if you feel like that he's not capable, do you now need to focus on the tight end room? Do you need to focus on the offensive line? Do you need to focus on the running backs to make this thing better?
Well,
to keep it moving.
Focus on everything. Like that's what the overall takeaway should be for the offensive coaches is that they need to focus on everything. As far as Pickens go, if Pickens is going to be one of the players that you lean on, then give him a little bit of extra time to make sure that you're getting everything out of him. You know what I'm saying? We can't just sit on our hands and go, okay, well, he can't run corner, so we're not gonna make him run him.
Right.
Nah, like let's work on those things, and that's probably why Dak is in the backyard with him right now, probably working on different routes and getting the language down, and all this kind of stuff. Ultimately, I think Pickens will be fine. I think if Pickens doesn't develop anymore and he's the same dude that he was last year, I still think that your offense is gonna be in a good place. The offense will be even better if he could improve, right? But he
might not be capable.
I think he's.
Or
capable.
There's limitations.
I think he's capable, but even if he's not capable, then I look at it 2 ways. If he's not capable, I look at it 2 ways. One, you were still one of the best offenses in the league last year with him not being capable, so I'll take that. And 2, if he's not capable, then we shouldn't be paying him $40 million in the first place. Speaking of money, be right back.
Prize Picks is America's #1 sports betting app, and it's really simple to use. You just pick more or you pick less on a few player stats, and that's your lineup. You're looking at things like points, yards, strikeouts. You decide, is the player going to go more or is he going to go less than that number? It's available, as you see here, in most states, including Texas. So you can jump in and play. If you're new, download the Prize Pick apps, use the code HMA, and when you play your first $5, you get $50 in lineups instantly. And you can follow me there too at Crown Media so you can see my picks before the show. Okay, let's look at our lineup for tonight. We're going to play a little bit of a Josh game. We're going to go more for Josh Young on 0.5 hits, and we're going to go less for Josh Hart on points, rebounds, and assists. Again, that's Prize Picks. Use the code HMA, pay $5, and get $50 in lineups. Good luck tonight.
So yeah, Bryan, appreciate y'all. So that's my whole thing about Pickens. I think even if he only runs slants and goes, I think he'll be fine. I think the Cowboys should focus more on why is Pickens being taken out of the game so easily, or why is CeeDee Lamb not blah blah blah. I think that's something else that the Cowboys need to be worried about more so than Pickens right now. Pickens is fine.
Let me get your level of worry then.
Okay.
Or your level of concern. Mm-hmm. Or your level of trust.
Sure.
With Jaydon Blue.
Oh, Jaydon, I don't say about Jaydon. He hadn't done nothing. He hadn't done nothing to earn my trust. I wish the Cowboys would have drafted linebacker. I wish they would have got Mike Washington or like Emmett Johnson or something. I wish they'd have got one of those guys to come in here. And I think for where they could have got him, I think the value was perfect.
Yeah.
I think Emmett went in the fourth round.
Yeah.
I would rather take if you're gonna take an offensive player, I wouldn't take. I think the running back would have helped you more than the offensive tackle would have.
I do too.
That's how I feel.
I do too.
All those running backs and look, it ain't have to be Johnson because he was our guy, or Washington. It could have been Claiborne. It could have been Moss. It was a lot of running backs on the board. And we talking about value. We're in day 3. A lot of guys that were on the board to where I feel like they not only were better than Blue and Maffa showed you last year. Well, Maffa ain't show you nothing. But what Blue showed you last year, Maffa got to show us something. But I could see Emmett Johnson starting one day.
I could too.
When Javonte's not here. So I think the Cowboys missed an opportunity to get a running back in the third round. I don't think Drew Shelton sees the field at all. I think the running back that you could have drafted in the 4th round could see the field when Javonte comes off.
Could you have taken a running back instead of Overton?
Sure, I would have. Or I'd have took a running back in the 7th round. I think there was a lot of opportunities right there to get you a running back.
Yeah, there's 2 4s.
Sure,
yeah.
Sure. And I'm saying this because like Blue just didn't show. Like if we would have relied on Blue last year, we'd have been in deep shit.
Yeah.
If we would have relied on him and forced him, like they had to keep him off the field. Javonte had to get more carries because Blue just couldn't get on the field.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't ready to go. He had a decent game at the end versus the Washington Wizards there. He had a decent end of the season game, but how motivated were the Washington football Wizards? Like, that's the second team and stuff out there. The Cowboys were trying to get a win, but maybe they weren't, And Blue did okay, but Blue wasn't even better than Malik Davis. Malik Davis did Blue's job perfectly fine.
To expand on this offense, more explosive plays,
that'll help.
Running back.
Yeah.
Blue is that guy, right?
If he can't show it in the lead, then no. If he hasn't proven that, then I can't say that he is. In college he was, but I can't say. Mike Weber was explosive in college.
Sure,
the running back from Ohio
State, yeah, back in the day.
He get to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Same with Deuce Vaughn. We can create a role and be like, oh, Deuce Vaughn fits that perfectly. We should keep him, And I still think that a lot of Deuce not showing up was Mike McCarthy being terrible, or us not prioritizing run game guy like Shotty has done in his administration. But if Deuce can't prove it to you, then no, that ain't Deuce's role. But Vaj, Deuce in college catching passes and being fast, right? But if you don't do it here, then it don't matter. And Blue just hadn't done it here. Blue could be fantastic.
Yeah.
But his could be ain't stopping me from wandering into other pastures.
They misevaluate this position then?
Running back?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think they done well. History says that they do well. They go from DeMarco Murray, and McFadden did fine, and Zeke ended up playing, and Zeke was phenomenal. Tony was behind him. Tony was great.
Tony.
Even after Tony, Rico Dowdle wasn't incredible, but he was an undrafted guy that had some starts here, got 1,000 yards. He got some starts over in Carolina, got 1,000 yards, I believe. After Rico, it's Javonte. Javonte being a guy on another team, and he wasn't league-wide regarded.
Yeah, but and you're absolutely right. Misevaluate the current situation. The current situation.
Like, should they have drafted running back this
year? Should they have drafted at some point in the draft? Everything you said is absolutely right.
How about this?
They have evaluated the running back position the right way.
This is where I give them credit. You could be better at running back. Defense was an emergency.
Yeah.
Defense was an emergency. So if you're gonna throw darts at something late, I would have rather them throw it on defense. Now, where they took Drew Shelton, could they have gone running back there? Sure. Where they took Anthony Smith, could they have gone running back there? Yeah, but it seemed like they really wanted wide receiver in the building. Like, we heard that they were high on bringing in wide receiver help. Running back 2 is technically not an emergency. So I don't hate them for that.
What's your read on the Adoree Jackson visit?
I asked somebody in my on Twitter in my comments, and I was positive when I saw the news, right? Because I was of the mindset of bring him in, won't hurt.
Yeah,
you need all the help you can. I got a lot of angles. This is an interesting thing to happen. I got a lot of angles on this, right?
Right.
And somebody was like, "Yeah, Voch, but I'd rather just keep the guys that we got." Blah, blah, blah. And look, I don't mind nobody saying that, but think about what cornerback looked like last year for the Cowboys. A lot of dudes.
They're playing with Wheezy out there, and
Bryan, we go into the regular season, and they talking about we got Reddy and Wheezy, and we didn't even watch those dudes in the draft process.
Right.
We watch a lot of dudes in the draft process. One went 7th round, one went undrafted. We didn't know who the hell Reddy and Wheezy was. Yeah. We didn't know who they were, and they started for you.
Yeah.
They started real life reps for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Kalen Carson ended up playing. Diggs ended up playing. Bland ended up playing. Revel ended up playing. You need 6 or 7 corners. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How you retain them in roster gymnastics matters. Like if Adoree Jackson doesn't have a market and he's a guy that could just be on your practice squad or whatever, then the Cowboys will likely retire. Not retire. Keep him. They'll retain.
Retain him, yeah.
They'll just retain Adoree Jackson, right? If they feel like somebody would take Adoree Jackson, then okay, well they can keep Adoree Jackson, but Darian Kendrick is the veteran that they keep on practice squad to retain him. Yeah. You need many corners, especially if you're going to be playing a bunch of nickel and dime and 4-2-5. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you require 3 starters at corner, then your room should at least be 6. Your room should at least be 6. Adding an extra guy for extra measure or whatever. But it's also important, super important, because you have question marks in this room right now. Yeah. So your overall question, hey, what does this Adoree Jackson workout mean? It means that they still want to test the waters at corner a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They still want to figure out corner a little bit. Durant's a 1-year guy, but he'll be around. If they bring in Adoree Jackson, I would assume he would be a 1-year guy. But Bland is injured guy. You don't know if Revel is good. You don't know if Carson is good or smart enough. No disrespect to Carson, man.
And you mean smart enough for like football?
For the system.
For the system.
For the system. Yeah. Wheezy Bridges, we don't know who you are. You ain't locked in a spot yet. Reddy Stewart, he ain't locked in nothing. He ain't a guy that's a lock like that. You know what I mean? So I actually like the approach. I like the approach. Adoree Jackson could be horrible. And I'm a Cowboy fan. I hadn't seen Amari Cooper beat up on Adoree Jackson. Cowboy fans got years of whooping up on Adoree Jackson.
Whether it's the Giants, the Eagles.
But Adoree Jackson won a Super Bowl with the Eagles.
Yeah.
He was a starting corner when the Eagles won a Super Bowl. So if there's a path for him and Christian Park can see that path, and he comes in with the advantage of, I know this system and language already, somebody could be better than him. But if he's ready to start for you, it don't matter.
I took it a couple different ways.
Please.
I looked at it as, are you doing Adoree Jackson a favor?
Could be.
Are you doing him a favor?
That's sure. Also, look,
initially, I thought that. Mm-hmm. Initially, I thought that. And then I started to think, well, he actually does know what this guy's trying to do.
He knows the language.
He knows the language.
Yeah.
And you bring in Adoree Jackson to help,
Revel and all those
Revel
guys.
And all
the young
those
guys.
The young guys. Yeah,
help
exactly.
Along,
the young, more,
This is what you expect.
Yeah.
And he's Sanborn. He would be Sanborn here. That's a horrible.
Why do I feel like having Adoree Jackson on this team is a step back.
If he has to start for you, then you misjudge your cornerback room.
Yeah.
But it could be a Jadeveon Clowney thing. We weren't really up on Jadeveon Clowney like that.
Sure.
Jadeveon Clowney's last season didn't inspire us in a way that he ended up as a Cowboy, right? Like it wasn't like, oh, well, we can cut Jadeveon Clowney if it don't work out. By the end of the season, we're like, yo, we got to bring back Jadeveon Clowney. He was one of our best defenders. Mm-hmm. We talked about this last night as well, shots out of Will stealing foots. But when you operate from a place of lack, you tend to overrate guys a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, we hype up Jadeveon Clowney because we just didn't have a bunch of edge rushers last year. That's just kind of what that was. Adoree Jackson.
In training camp, we kind of thought we had some edge rushers, right?
Yeah, we was wrong.
Maybe we didn't have any offensive tackles. Which, by the way, real quick, just if you can.
Tyler Gayton was whooping all them dudes in camp.
I know, but
EG was whooping all them dudes in camp.
But we also had, well, that's fair. Mm-hmm. But it seemed like did we miss the evaluation of the edges because of the tackles they were going against and not, there was some, Tyler Guyton was good early and then he was out of camp.
Yeah.
Do we misevaluate? I mean, Donovan Ezeraku looked like an 8-sack guy. I know I keep bringing it up.
I don't know what to blame on Flus. I don't know specifically what I can and can't blame on Flus. So I don't know. But your edge room ended up being...
It looked good out there rushing the passer, and I wonder if it was because the quality of the tackles weren't where it needed to be.
I'm not sure, because your tackles proceeded to be on an offense that was a top 5 offense.
I know.
You got a lot of pressure. Dak was under a lot of pressure, but...
Might have been about the quarterback getting rid of the ball.
The edge defenders should have been whooping our tackles more.
Yeah.
But they weren't. So that possibly could have told us something.
Why did I feel like they kind of were?
I remember because I went to camp and I
no, you were there. I mean, you were there.
I'm watching offensive line and nothing else.
Yeah.
And I'm specifically watching Tyler Guyton. And me and you would correspond. I'd be up in my tower at the Mojave in San Manuel Resorts and Suites. And you was at the 105, and I was like, man, Bryan, Tyler Guyton whooped up on everybody today.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah. It's on my Twitter. Y'all can go find my Twitter.
No, you're right.
Guyton was whooping all the guys. Donovan, they would have some good back and forths. Peyton Turner, Marshawn Nealon, like Guyton was doing his thing out there. He was doing his thing out there.
Final question for me on this one.
Rashan Gary gonna be so much better. I think people sleeping on him, by the way. But go ahead.
All right, talk about that then.
About people sleeping on Rashan Gary?
Yeah. You think because of lack of pass rush sacks?
Here's 2 things that plagued the shit out of Rashan Gary. He played next to Micah Parsons.
Right.
And when the Cowboys acquired Rashan Gary, we thought we was getting Max Crosby or Trey Hendrickson.
Not at all.
Those 2 things plague the shit out of Rashan Gary. When you hear people talk about, well, who are our 2 pass rushers going to be?
Yeah.
They'll say Malachi. Oh, yeah, Malachi Lawrence come out there on pass rush downs and Donovan Ezeraku get the other side.
Yeah.
Don't nobody on this team have more sacks than Rashan Gary. Nobody got close to the amount of sacks Rashan Gary got last year. The dude that everybody was vouching for come back, Jadeveon Clowney, I think their numbers were like close to each other.
Yeah.
In terms of sacks.
Yeah.
But if you look at just pressures, I think Rashan Gary beat everybody on this roster last year by like 20 pressures.
Yeah.
Beat them by 20 pressures. So when people say, "Oh yeah, Rashan Gary's like a rundown dude," and
he's more than that.
I agree with you. He's a rundown guy, and I'm gonna take him off the field and pass rush downs.
I agree with you.
How?
I agree with you.
When he's the guy that's proven on your team to have more pressures than
I agree.
Last year he had 20 more than Donovan.
I agree.
And I understand that there has to be this expectation and projection that Donovan will get better.
Right.
Sure, Donovan will get better.
Yeah.
And Malachi will be a rookie and he will get better. But there are people on social media sneezing at Rashan Gary's 9 sacks.
Yeah.
And I watched the sacks.
Yeah.
He could have had 12. Shit just be happening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not here to
He's
sleep
good attacking the pocket.
I'm not sleeping on Rashan Gary.
No,
at all.
I don't disagree with you.
Rashan Gary might be your best pass rusher right now.
I agree.
He might be your most complete edge guy right now.
I agree.
And I think we should expect him to be on the field when it's time to rush the pass. That's how I feel. Now, will the 3 edge rushers get an even split in snaps? Likely. I'm talking about Gary, Donovan Ezeraku, and Malachi Lawrence. They'll probably all get 30-something snaps each. That's what happened last year.
Sure.
Like when Osa and the other tackles would rotate, they all got like 35 snaps a game. I think your big 3 defensive end guys will end up being that way. But to think that Gary's like the 3rd best pass rusher in this group right now, I think that's nonsense. I think there's nonsense to assume that Malachi Lawrence is going to roll out the bed and just be better than a dude that got 50-something pressures last year and 9.5 sacks. That should have been 12.
Yeah.
I think that'll be very, very irresponsible of us.
Yeah, I agree with you on Gary.
Yeah.
I think people are just thinking that he's a run-only defender, and he's not.
We was expecting max.
Yeah.
We was expecting max, and people are thinking that Gary is the return from the Micah deal. That's not the case. They've totally revamped the whole defense. The Micah deal's behind us right now.
Yeah.
And just restarting this whole defense, hey, Christian Parker, is Rashan Gary somebody you could use? Yes or no? We're not comparing him to Max. We're not comparing him to Micah or Trey Hendrickson. We're not thinking some elite pass rush dude is on the way. We're rebuilding a defense. Hey, coach, we're thinking about adding Rashan Gary. Can you use him? Yes or no?
Yeah.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, you can use that guy.
Yeah.
The dude that got 9.5 sacks that should have been 12 and 50 pressures. I think it was really 60. I got to go back and look. And 50 pressures. And Donovan Ezeraku that we put in big faith in last year had what, 4 sacks? That should have been 5 and 20-something pressures? No.
Yeah.
Put some respect on Rashan Gary now. He's going to be great.
I agree.
It's going to be great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Fantastic questions, man. I like doing it on this platform. I know you got to do radio where you got like a 10-minute segment. Yeah, I got to squeeze a lot of that in, man. But a lot of this stuff requires a bunch of thought, a bunch of back and forth.
Well, you have to be able to kind of what you want to do is you want to give, the answers are, you want to be mindful about what you're saying because people are listening to you and they're kind of taking in what you're saying like, okay, wait a minute. And it kind of puts, I know when I do stuff with you, it makes me think, like, stand on it a little bit.
Sure.
Don't just throw it out there and hope that nobody hears it. I mean, we've got a great audience, and they want to learn and be educated, and they want to hear. And I love the fact to go back through the comments and read the thoughts that they had, like, hey, man, this is what I think about Gary, or this is what I think about Blue, or I enjoy that part of it. I enjoy the back and forth with that, but these do require a little bit more thought to them instead of just giving
talking it out a little bit.
Yeah, you got to talk it out. Absolutely, you got to talk it out.
Hey, man, that's what I do here, Bryan Price. Here at the good old Crown Global Media, we appreciate y'all. Go in the comments, and if you have any disagreement about whatever I said today, you can feel free to leave
or
it.
myself as well.
Or Bryan, you can feel free to leave that in the I know we kind of fussed about Pickens earlier. Whatever side of that y'all on, we would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Also, too, we're doing Q&A tomorrow. So if you have any questions that you would like to be submitted for tomorrow's Q&A session, then you can put that in the comments. You can wait for me to go to Twitter and make my post on Twitter. You can put all that under Twitter. I'll be checking both places for questions, so you can leave those there, and we'll be answering that. If you want to know where you can find anything that's related to us, is on our website, crownglobalmedia.com. You can get us some merch, get you a hoodie, get whatever garment you want with whatever logo on it. Go over there and knock yourself out. You feel me? But we appreciate y'all for tuning in. All right. Tomorrow we're going to have Q&A. Don't forget it. That's Crown Global Media on Twitter, and I am Voch Lombardi. We'll catch y'all tomorrow. Crown.